The Antigua government could revoke the citizenship of an Indian billionaire over fraud allegations. And in sport, the Windies captain says his team has a lot of work to do after their series loss to Bangladesh. I'm Dawn Paris, and this is the Caribbean in 10 from Monday, July 30th. I'll be back with the details in just a moment.
Her passion for what she believes is unmatched.
I wanted to get to the point where you can shake me off that perfect piece.
She's a book-off radio host, philanthropist, and motivational speaker.
And I said, I'm going to write you a check for $10,000, which I'm not.
Spirit, soul, and body.
To get them some help through the transition.
I'm Karita D, and you're listening to Girlfriend Get a Life.
October 16th, 1991, George Hennard crashed his pickup through a glass window of the Levy's cafeteria in Texas. "This is what Bell County did to me. This is payback," he shouted, and killed 23 people and wounded 20 others before committing suicide. The majority of his victims were women.
Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown says there may be grounds to revoke the Antiguan citizenship of Indian national Mehul Chokshi, obtained via the Citizenship by Investment program. The Indian billionaire businessman is wanted in connection with an alleged $2.1 billion fraud known in his country as the Punjab National Bank fraud case. In an interview with an Indian journalist, Prime Minister Brown said on the basis that there are grounds for revocation, which he believes they are, the government would certainly proceed with it. But he said his administration would not rush to any decision. Brown said that up to the time of the interview, the government of India was yet to post anything official with the International Police Agency, Interpol. And Interpol is one of the main agencies that the Antigua government uses when determining the suitability of applicants for citizenship. Brown reiterated his government's claim that at the time that Chokshi applied for citizenship, there was no derogatory information about him. He says his government did nothing wrong, and it was only after the citizenship had been granted that it surfaced that Chokshi was wanted for alleged crimes in India. Brown also gave the assurance that the Office of the Attorney General and the CIP unit are reviewing Chokshi's application to determine whether or not there was any false information or fraud. Trinidad and Tobago's former Attorney General Anthony Smart is dismissing suggestions that the United States Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, was involved in helping authorities suppress the 1990 coup by Islamic group Jamaat al-Muslimin. Smart's public defense of the events surrounding the failure of the coup comes after historian and former cabinet member Dr. Brinsley Samaru said in a television interview that the Americans had installed special equipment to monitor what was taking place in the parliament, where the then Prime Minister A.N.R. Robinson and several legislators were being held by the Muslim group. Samaru was also said that the attempted coup had far-reaching implications, including a possible overthrow of the government in Venezuela by Libya. But Smart, who was Attorney General at the time, says Samaru's accounts are simply inaccurate, adding that the historian was not even present when the hostage negotiations were taking place.
Brinsley, a respected historian, that has been his life, has, completely distorted. I don't think intentionally. It's just that he wasn't there. All the activity took place between the 27th of July and the 28th, the 29th. By the 30th, we had the situation under control, and that is when Brinsley entered the picture. And as I said, by the next day, the hostages were released. So that I'm going to hopefully have the opportunity to give a full response to what Brinsley said. A lot of what Brinsley said is, unfortunately, as I say, I have a great regard for him. He's a good friend and a nice person. A lot of what he said is completely inaccurate.
Last Friday marked the 28th anniversary of the attempted coup, and in a statement, coup leader and head of the Jamaat al-Muslimin Yassin Abu Bakr said he will not apologize for the insurrection despite calls from some to do so. At least 24 people, including one legislator, were killed during the six-day uprising that ended on August 1st, 1990, when Bakr led more than 100 men in trying to overthrow the Robinson government. The opposition People's National Party of Jamaica, the PNP, says it will not recognize Dr. Andrew Wheatley as a Minister of Government, and it continues to press for him to be fired. Dr. Wheatley was relieved of his portfolio as Energy Minister following the Petrojam scandal, but remains Minister of Science and Technology in the Andrew Holness-led administration. But PNP Chairman Fitz Jackson says though the party recognizes that he has earned his right to be a member of parliament, it will not acknowledge him when he stands in a house to speak as a government minister.
He has a right to be there as a member of parliament. We respect that right. He was voted in by the voters of South Central St. Catherine, but we will not have any regard for his ministerial position. And anytime he rises in the parliament to speak as minister, we are definitely going to be out the chamber. We're not going to walk out, we're going to be absent during his intervention. We have no regard for his ministerial authority.
Meanwhile, PNP spokesman on energy, Philip Powell, told a media conference last Friday that the party will be looking into the operations of other government ministries, especially those connected with the science and technology portfolios.
We do intend to probe further all the other ministries, and especially those within the science and technology portfolios, because we are seeing evidence of similar systems, similar failures that we have determined so far at Petrojam and latterly at Nessal.
We'll have sports after the break. Captain Jason Holder says West Indies still have much work to do in order to ready themselves for next year's ICC World Cup in England, and this is following their 2-1 series defeat to Bangladesh over the weekend. In the decisive third one-day international at Warner Park on Saturday, West Indies were undone by Tamim Iqbal's second 100 of the series as Bangladesh piled up their highest ever score against the hosts, 301 for 6 off their allotted 50 overs. West Indies then came up short by 18 runs as they found acceleration difficult in the middle overs and the innings stalled. This left them requiring 109 from the last 10 overs, which proved a mountain too high to climb. Holder lamented after the match that the West Indies should have been able to get the needed runs. Although giving credit to Chris Gayle and Rothman Powell, Holder said the Caribbean men lost momentum in the middle and were not able to put runs on the scoreboard as quickly as they wanted to. And that's Caribbean in 10. Join us this evening at 6:30, the Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.